And whenever it say we on, I guess we'll be on, and we on. So,
Hmm.
like, we skipped the time, right? We skipped the episode where,
Did we?
yeah, we know. We skipped the episode where you weren't eating dinner. So it was almost four consecutive times we logged in, ready to go, and you was eating dinner. So I think what I gotta do is readjust my dinner times. Welcome to the ladies' locker room, y'all. Happy New Year,
Wait,
sisters.
wait, wait. Are you saying you're gonna eat dinner with me?
Yeah,
Oh, okay, cool, 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 cool. Cause see,
yeah.
I got a schedule and I don't eat until after I exercise.
Got you. Okay. So since I've been getting my workout in, and don't really have to deal with a bunch of people because it's like a flea market if you go to the public gym after the new year. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and then everybody in their germs and they stuff. So you know we want to avoid that by all means necessary. Um, Sister, what you eating for dinner?
Okay, so today was fish and chips with green beans and carrots.
Okay.
It was gonna be soup because I was kind of feeling like I wanted a vegetable soup or an Italian wedding soup, and then the offspring informed me that he had already decided that he was gonna cook fish and chips.
Okay.
So I'm not gonna argue, you know.
Well, he has made a decision.
Plus, I eat a lot of fish anyway. So when he said he made the fish and chips, I was like, word, cool, 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 cool. I just need a vegetable then. He's like, oh, we got green beans and carrots
That
left.
sounds like a vibe, though.
Oh, that's what's up. So
Did
that's
he
dinner.
did he bake it? Did he fry it? What happened?
Well, it's breaded cod.
Okay. Did he bake it or fry it or what happened?
No, that's
Ready card. Okay.
it's yeah, it's breaded cod, and we cook it in the toaster oven, the air fryer thingy,
Yeah.
and then the fries are crinkle cut fries, and then I got me a juice, a pressed juice for my dessert with apple, lemon, ginger, and beets in it, and
Yeah.
like 16 ounces of water. My supplements that I take before I go to bed. So everything is like laid out in front of me, and I might have a hot cup of apple cider you
That
know,
sounds good.
when we get off the air. It's going to depend because I'm pretty warm and I don't like to be too warm because I still have night sweats.
Yeah.
So I don't really need to be too warm. If anything, I'd be kicking the covers off in the middle of the night, then grabbing them back.
Okay, so wait. So is the bamboo sheet or blanket not effective
No, it's
anymore?
effective. The thing is, but between me exercising, regulating my hormones, and still having hormonal fluctuations because I still have ovaries, sometimes I don't have no night sweats at all.
Okay.
Sometimes I have slight night sweats. Sometimes I wake up, I be like, God damn, who raided in my bedroom? The bamboo sheets keep me cool, but they don't keep you from sweating.
Okay, so that's a notable update.
Yeah, it keeps you cool, but it doesn't keep you from having night sweats because night sweats are hormonal. So
Yeah.
it keeps you, I don't notice right away that I'm having night sweats because of the bamboo sheets,
Hmm.
if that makes sense. What a bamboo blanket. I'm getting bamboo sheets though,
Okay.
because they so soft. And I like my cotton jersey, my high thread count cotton jersey sheets, but I wanted some bamboo sheets too, and I found them on like deep, 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 deep discount.
Them cotton jersey sheets make me hot. I'm
They
sorry.
do, girl. I love
Yeah,
them.
they feel good,
They
but
they so soft.
yeah, they make me hot. They do.
I like them.
Um, I wanted to start this episode by saying that we are praying for Damar Hamlin.
Mhm,
Still, still. I was a football mom,
mhm.
so that hit me very closely. Like, damn, those are the types of things that you fear happening on the field, because it's such a high contact sport. And then over time, outsiders kind of diminish the actual damage that takes place over your body or with your body over an extended period of time with playing any contact sport.
Right.
So, this is not a fluke. Obviously, it does happen. We have not heard of this happening like this to this degree on any
Well,
professional football field, to my recollections, to my knowledge,
there was a
not
young
in
man.
recent years.
No, there was a young man, I want to say, played college ball, and he died after suffering a heart attack during a game. In the last few years, I do believe that happened.
Okay, I'm gonna look for it. Um, but definitely, our prayers and thoughts are with him and his family, um, and
Absolutely.
and his teammates. Because
Right.
that's something that I can only imagine would be very very shocking and very trying to experience while you're on the field with your teammate.
Hmm.
Now, there had been some debate about some people's opinion about what should happen because the season was so far along and how those things will affect, the playoffs and the regular season after. So I'm kind of interested to see um if there will be large displays of humanity for in support of what happened and in support of that young man's recovery, and not so much focus on what happens next based on all the people that got money on the games and shit like that.
I think, well, for one, I'm going to preface this by saying my black ass ain't watched the NFL game since they,
Since they
blackball
did with it. Yeah.
Kaepernick, right?
Yeah.
The only thing I have watched is the Super Bowl halftime. One time. That's
That's
it.
entertaining.
That's it. And that was when Dr. Dre and Mary J. Blige and them was doing it. Other than that, I
Right.
ain't
Was this
watched a
still
single
a
football game.
notable dope show? That was a notable dope
Yeah.
halftime show.
So I don't know who's playing when, where, what, or how, and have not since they ousted Kaepernick like they did. I literally have not watched the game. I don't know who's in the running for nothing.
Yeah.
It's completely no longer a part of my world. What I assume people are concerned about is coming from the fact that football fans are very selfish people. We know this.
Yeah.
They have proven that repeatedly. The way they recently did. I heard about what happened to Sierra's husband, Russell, and how they're dogging him out because he had a bad game or so. You know what I mean? So football fans, they really think that the players are their property,
Yeah, and they're very unforgiving for some shit they don't do for real.
except if you're white. Now the white football players, they get to, deflate the balls and steal from children and, you know, all kinds of shit. And they just try
Yeah.
to act like that shit don't happen. Black players get treated like you better do what we want you to do, what we want you to do it or else. And these people don't own the teams.
Hmm.
They might be season ticket holders, but so what? Fuck your tickets. This is somebody's life and livelihood. Football is one of the most dangerous physical sports next to boxing. Those are the two, well, also hockey. But it's been documented for decades how boxing and football specifically lead to CTE, and how football players also had a tendency to end up with incredibly horrible arthritis. They end up with all kinds of issues as far as even like their back because they take hits and stuff and they jump on each other and land on each other, and how it can cause so many issues to their spine and stuff over time. And I really think that people, particularly white folks, are so selfish. Like the first thing you think about is what's going to happen with the next game. The fuck you mean? You call the next team. Who was next in line to play? Tell them come on the field. But do not
Yeah.
treat it like this man's life. Like, oh my God, man, what happened? You should be praying for him as an individual, not worrying what the fuck is gonna happen with your team because they all go probably need some therapy. Several of them are probably gonna start rethinking their career paths after this.
Yeah, I'm sure,
This ain't
especially
he ain't no old dude. He's still a young man.
very young, and then the impact of what happened and where it happened at and how it happened, I think maybe will be a contributing factor to how people decide what they're going to do with their actual careers.
Yes, because you witness football players had a tendency to feel invincible. A lot of them go through their careers with no injuries whatsoever, right? But a heart attack is something that a lot of people can empathize and sympathize with. You don't have to be a football player to have a heart attack. And the fact that he had one during the game,
Yeah,
okay, and he was resuscitated on the field. Like, come on now. That part right there,
that's heavy by itself to even witness.
exactly. If you've ever seen anybody being resuscitated, that is very shocking.
Yeah,
It's
and
very
scary.
shocking to see that. And it happened in front of all of these people, but primarily these two teams that were on the field at the time. Come on now, have some humanity.
Right,
Fuck your game. Cause it's literally just a game. This is this person's life and the lives of other people. So if you have to call up the next team that was in line, whether they won the games they were supposed to win or not, just do it. But do not put the burden of what's going to happen with this particular team going forward on these players at this moment
right.
because they got other things to think about. They want to go home and hug their own families. They probably need some mental health leave. All kinds of stuff could be going through their heads at this moment. They might not want to play football no fucking more. And I wouldn't even blame them
Yeah.
because the human body is a body. It's tissue, it's bones, it's tendons, it's ligaments, it's nerves. And we have to take care of it as best we can. But there are things that we also don't have a whole lot of control over. And for people who actually have a choice and can make a decision, an informed decision, and have more control over what they decide to do with their bodies, they gonna choose themselves
As they should.
as they should. Fuck your game, fuck your playoffs, fuck your season passes, fuck your goals and dreams, because you're not the one out there playing the game.
Well, these people are hungry for lots of things, for fame, for notoriety, for a check. Um, but at the same time, I would safely assume, I believe that lots of those people want to just go home at the end.
Mhm.
And not even some people may consider the fact of what may happen. Some people don't consider it until it does. And I think that for the people that didn't consider it, now they have and have a reason to make a well-informed decision about their future.
Because I know I sure would. I tell them people, fuck that job.
Yeah, that's a lot to endure. That's a lot to witness. There was I couldn't, as always, when I see something shocking, I just can't let it go. So this kind of been sitting with me all day. um there was a janitor, a black janitor, that was arrested and continues to be harassed for bringing awareness to an administrator's racist behavior on school grounds after hours. So essentially, he was recording her calling him a nigger,
To
okay,
his face.
to his face. And then when she found that she had been recorded or was in the process of being recorded, she made some mention to who she was going to call and did. And essentially what ended up happening is he went home after his shift for the police to arrive at his residence to arrest him. Now, first of all, I didn't hear anything about a warrant. That's
I
first and
I thought
foremost.
I thought she said she was gonna call the district attorney's office on him.
She did. That is what she said. And did. So whatever like inside connections she had,
Oh, abuse of power. Okay.
abuse of power, and with that abuse of power, the police literally ended up at this man's house, at his house, right? At
Mm-hmm.
his place of residence,
Mm-hmm.
where his solace is supposed to be.
With no warrant.
with no warrant whatsoever, and went back after the fact.
More, they went back multiple times. And they
Yeah, what
also deleted the information off his phone. The video and everything, they deleted it off his phone.
they seized his phone at the first encounter, did whatever it is they did with it, because obviously that footage is not going to be in the hands of the police department to do what they will with, and I'm sure destroyed it by this moment. But what's the aftermath of all this? What should be the aftermath of it all?
What state was that in?
This was, I would like to say, it is in PA, Pennsylvania. So he's a custodian at the Poconos Mountain West Junior High School in Pennsylvania.
I'm just checking something real quick because I didn't get the chance to look at it earlier
Okay.
because I'm very
Y'all do know not that you can refuse police access to your home without a warrant, right? I hope y'all know that. You can refuse police access to your vehicle without a warrant. That's provided you're licensed and insured. Now, don't be out here with no suspended license talking about, no, you can't do. Even still, you have rights, but they're harder to maintain and support in an instance where you are the illegal suspect, if you will. But
okay. So
um,
look, here's the thing. This is where the people of the great state of Pennsylvania fucked up. In Pennsylvania, these people uh, re- actually allowed a law to come into existence back in 2020. It was updated. It says the state prohibits, I'm going to start over. It is
mhm,
unlawful to intentionally record or disclose the contents of a private in person conversation or any telephone or electronic communication without the consent of all parties.
mhm.
The state also prohibits images made or disclosed in violation of its hidden camera law. Violators of the recording law are subject to both criminal and civil penalties, while the hidden camera law has criminal penalties. They call it a wiretap law. In person conversations, it is lawfully to lawfully record an in person conversation in Pennsylvania, an individual must obtain the consent of all parties in the conversation. Courts will find consent, however, in instances in which parties knew or reasonably should have known the conversation was being recorded. So there is precedence that he could argue because he said to her, I'm recording you, and she was still present talking shit, that was consent.
It was consent. It's consent if she didn't say, "Do not record me. You do not have my fucking permission."
Or how about this? If you hadn't called the man a nigger,
Right.
because I would argue you were in the process of racially harassing me and violating my civil rights by calling me a nigger. You knew you were being recorded and you continued to talk. Therefore, consent. And here's the thing, only a judge can determine if that was consent or not. So, by the police coming to his house, wiping his phone without his consent, without a warrant, and continuing to harass him, they are in violation of his civil rights. Therefore, if I were him, I would call me a lawyer. And you fired him from his job by lying and saying he committed a crime that had nothing to do with you being recorded. They accused the man of stealing something from a student in order to fire him. That is also considered retaliation. And I would, if it were me, I would say I'm a whistleblower. Now I'm protected.
Non-protected.
I'm a whistleblower. I was exposing the racism that takes place in this school against faculty and students. They fired me for it. And I would have an ACLU on their ass.
That's okay, because we're gonna tag him.
I'm just
Um,
saying.
and we
He
we
needs to
definitely
he
gonna
needs to
going to tag
really
him.
he needs to really Get him a lawyer and contact the ACLU, because it's one thing for you to say, okay, you weren't supposed to be recording this private conversation, even though it was taking place in a public venue.
Right.
But I was being racially harassed. My civil rights were being violated. She was committing a hate crime against me.
But I bet you she's still allowed to go to her
You know her
job.
ass still there because she white.
She mm,
You know her ass is still there.
that's all right. She wouldn't be when I got through with her.
And y'all people in Pennsylvania, y'all need to be paying more attention to what laws get passed in y'all state, because that's a bullshit ass law.
Yeah, what's the law
That's a
called again?
bull.
Is it
It,
it's the wiretap law?
they call it the wiretap law,
Hmm.
but under it, they're not applying it to public servants or law enforcement. They're applying it to everyday civilians. So if someone does something to you, they're saying you have to get that person's permission to videotape them harming you.
How what?
Yes, I said what I said. If someone is hurting you, harming you, cussing you out, calling you a nigger in your face, you have to get their permission to record them doing such under this wiretap law. And this is the law that they're using to try to punish that man.
That's entrapment.
I said what I said.
That's horrible. They do definitely need a somebody, anybody that gives a fuck about injustice in your community. Everybody needs to be on the line with the ACLU.
And that ain't
Ev-
all. It gets
Everybody need to
worse.
be online with the school board. Everybody need to be online with NAACP.
It gets worse. They can charge you with a felony, punishable up to 7 years in prison or and up to a $15,000 fine.
So I guess that's what they're gonna go with. That's what they're gonna run with in this case because they need a
Again,
defense.
they had no warrant though. They showed up
I
at his
hope
crib without no warrant.
I hope that he is able to obtain more than a court appointed attorney. I hope that he's able to do that. Somebody is going to put some type of due diligence, some type of thorough investigation, and someone that's able and willing to build an argument on his behalf.
Here's the thing, there are precedents and there are stipulations within the law where he should have still been able to record that conversation. For instance, it says the law does not cover oral communication when the speakers do not have an expectation that such communication is not subject to interception under circumstances justifying such expectation. And then, meaning, therefore, you may be able to record in person conversations occurring in a public place without consent. However, you should always get the consent of all parties before recording any conversation that common sense tells you is private. They're overstepping with the law and they're using it to punish him because the woman is a racist and she didn't want people to know. And then
Well,
she abused her power and called in a favor.
it's
Everybody should
certainly
be
going
fired.
to play out how many people are racist within that PA judicial system, within the school board, how much attention they give to it, what type of interactions they're willing to have, and what type of consequences they're willing to deliver when it comes to somebody that represents their school system. We'll see how long she stays employed.
Yeah, because this was an instance where she was verbally assaulting, being racially motivated. She was harassing this man and calling him out of his name and violating her civil rights, his civil rights. In that moment, that ain't a private conversation no more. You are harming me. You're committing a crime against me.
And why did you decide that it was okay? Well, I can't ask why she decided it was okay to verbally state an intention to abuse her power as an administrator, but she did.
Hmm.
So You
That's why
know,
the DA should be also fired. She made a phone call and y'all was like, okay, we're gonna send the police to his house. The fuck?
who was the Pennsylvania DA? Let's see.
And again, the good folks of Pennsylvania, y'all decide who get to be your DA. It's called voting.
Mm, this is going to be interesting. I really would like to see how it plays out because it's just, enough is a damn enough. Shit now. Josh Shapiro, he's a Democrat. He's been in office since 2017. So there's that, I guess. Um, what you got today, sister?
Girl, the caucasity is high. So I just finished another episode of Watching Limitless. I'm really digging this show. I like docu-series and stuff of people, stepping out of their comfort zone and trying new things, particularly for the purpose of it benefiting their health. And
Mm,
so I just finished the episode of Limitless where Chris Hemsworth they were talking about memory and how to protect and preserve and increase your memory.
okay.
And in that particular episode, that's when Chris Hemsworth discovered by genetic testing that they had already done on him prior to him starting all of the things that he has tried to improve his health during the entire series. He's got a genetic predisposition to Alzheimer's.
Mm,
And being is that I, suspect in my family there's a genetic predisposition for dementia, the particular episode about memory was very, intriguing for me because I'm always looking for ways to um, better my own health because my grandma just turned 95, but she has dementia.
that's- yeah.
My great grandmother lived to be 107,
Did she
and I
have dementia as
know
well?
she did not have dementia, but I know that I'm probably going to live a very, very, very long time. And I would really like to do it with the majority of my memories intact
Yeah.
and my short term memory and long term memories both being good.
I think that's a general fear amongst people that may not even be willing to talk about it or have not thought enough about it to mention it. And then when it comes up, it's like, oh my God. Um, but that fear of losing your memories,
Hmm. And then
that's
it
oof,
starts, people who unfortunately have the genetic coding for it, it starts sometimes earlier than old age. Okay. You
yeah.
could be under the age of 50 and start to have symptoms of it. And so it's very important that as you get older, that you don't, fuck around and find out. You want to make sure that you're taking the best possible care of your health as you age, as opposed to waiting till you're older to try to do something about it. Because with Alzheimer's and dementia, the older you are when you are diagnosed, sometimes the harder it is to manage and treat it. Because medications, there's a cutoff for when they can medicate you to keep those diseases at bay. Okay.
Yeah, it's a cutoff
So
age.
yeah, there's a cutoff. Like once you hit a certain age, they can't medicate you to keep it from being chronic.
They
So
can only make you comfortable at that time.
exactly. So you have to, while you're still young, do things to keep your memory going and keep your body healthy because a healthy body protects a healthy brain.
Yep.
So the things that you eat, like eating more fish, taking omega 3s. I have a brain formula. I have a supplement for my brain. I have, lessening your stress as much as you possibly can because I'm one of these people. I know I'm I know my stress level is really, really high when I can't remember shit.
Hmm.
For me, that's a sign that my stress level is too damn high. When the more forgetful I am, the more stressed I am.
Yeah.
And I've had to do things to fight that. And that is like managing my stress, meditating, exercising, eating. well, limiting alcohol, um, because I want to make sure that the brain cells are properly regenerating and doing things like getting enough sleep. The older you get, the more sleep you need. We unfortunately live several years in this particular generation with hustle mentality, and we'll sleep when we die. We can't do that shit no more.
Right.
Particularly those of us who may have genetic predisposition for Alzheimer's and dementia. We need more sleep,
We do.
not less. And so when my body says it want to sleep 11 hours, I sleep 11 fucking hours. Is what's going to happen. I don't care. What?
Yeah.
Who going to come get me out my bed and my bamboo sheets? What? We not,
Hey, you know
no.
what? But it's necessary though. It's not
Yes.
you have to listen to it. If not, it will talk to you.
Your brain and your body heal while you're sleeping. Both
Yeah.
of them. The brain actually releases toxins from your whole body while you're sleeping. That's I don't know if you notice, like the first thing you got to do when you get up sometimes is use the bathroom.
Mhm.
Those toxins are leaving your body. Even if you ain't drink nothing, you still got to go pee. Those toxins are leaving your body. And your brain has to be, you have to be asleep for your brain to go through that process. It does
Yeah.
not go through that process while you are awake. Your brain sorts your memories while you are sleeping. It puts information in your short term memory and information in your long term memory while you are sleeping. If you don't sleep, those things don't happen. If you are sleep deprived, you are more likely to have hallucinations, have high blood pressure.
So with that, let's talk action. A lot of times we wait absolutely until something happens to try and do something about it. By that
Mhm.
time, it's too late.
Usually,
You've already
yes.
you've already caused whatever irreparable damage by, your lack of concern and action. And then lots of times also we talked about it on the previous episode where, you feel something may be wrong and then we walk around and ignore it and don't do
Hmm.
nothing about it. And then let the situation continue to worsen. So by the time you actually do um, you know, get medical treatment or medical assessment on what's going on, it's lots of damage that's already been done by your lack of action.
And when it comes to the brain, it's one of those parts of your body where they just can't replace it. You can't get a brain transplant.
Yeah.
It's not replaceable. So they talk about the hippocampus. That's the part of the brain that looks like a seahorse. If you
Yep.
ever see a scan of the brain, and it's on both sides of the brain. It spreads through. It's kind of like in the middle of both hemispheres of the brain, and that's where our memories are. So to do like things they suggested, and I've heard some of this before:
Okay.
limiting alcohol, eating more fish, making sure that you take time away from the world as you know it because you want your brain to kind of go back into its instinctive pattern, its natural pattern of thinking and making decisions and figuring shit out without the assistance of technology. They
Hmm.
also said, because this coincides, office world, corporate world, capitalism has an effect on our brains, and it's not a good one.
Absolutely.
The way that the world has been engineered by human beings to work, 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 work inside of office buildings with walls and glass doors and urban settings is really not good for our brains. We become automated. We're on autopilot doing repetitious things every single day. In order to counteract that, we need to get away from those environments. And that's the thing I like about working from home.
Yeah.
My memory is actually improved by not being in that exact same pattern of behavior every day where I have to go to the office, sit in a cubicle, answer a phone. And my focus and concentration is better when I'm not there. I actually get more work done when I'm not there.
Mhm.
And for me, as I'm watching the series, they're saying like unplug, unplug from the world. Now, I'm a two phone person.
Yeah.
Girl, Chris Hemsworth had 5 phones. When they told him to check his phones in before they put him in this particular scenario, he had 5 phones. No wonder you so damn stressed out.
Yeah, having to keep
Shit.
up with so much.
But part of it is also fear that if he lose a phone, he won't have a phone.
Yeah, and I get that part too, though. I get that too, but
So they
I
also
I
had
get
him,
that.
yeah, they had him go like camping. Now I ain't been camping. I ain't never been one for camping. The closest I'd have never been to camping was glamping at Yosemite Park back in the day when my grandparents took me to Yosemite Park. And it was one of the most beautiful places I've ever been to in my entire life. And I remember it like it was yesterday because I had I was a tall child.
Yeah.
So being able to see trees so tall that I felt small was absolutely amazing to me.
Yeah.
Redwood trees so big that I could sit on one and dangle my legs and never touch the ground because one had tipped over.
That looks like it was awesome to see.
And I sat on it. You know what I'm saying? And looking at half dome mountain and stuff and like just being out there. I don't remember all the details of the trip, but I do remember it being an incredibly beautiful place, quiet. Okay. We was in a cabin, but it was a nice cabin. Like I said, it was glamping before glamping was glamping. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it was a nice place. It wasn't no, it wasn't no bullshit. And doing things like that actually help your brain because it allows you to go back to basically pressing reset on your brain where your brain now has to go back to being instinctive instead of on autopilot
Yeah, it
where you
contributes
have
to your core memories and how you build
exactly
them and what you retain.
and not using GPS to try to figure out which way north is. Like that's when they say unplug, like don't depend on technology at all for your survival for a period
Yeah.
of time so that you can make decisions so that your brain has to tune in to I need to make a decision because I'm hungry. I need to make a decision because I need to find water that I can drink. I need to make a decision because I need shelter. I need, you know what I mean? So when you start making your brain make decisions for you versus another person or an app, you're going to be more likely to have better memory than a person who is solely reliant on a technology or their phone or the internet or other people.
Mhm.
So you want to have some social interaction, but you want somebody that's going to be down for what you down for. They'll be like, yeah, I turn my phone off too. And make it fun. Don't make it a task. Make it fun. They're not saying go out there and endanger yourself. Don't go fighting with bears and shit like that. Just get off the grid for a minute and do it as often as you possibly can. So if you're going to take a vacation, go somewhere where you don't have to worry about, you know, what's going to happen, people and oh my god, being on time, I got to be on time, you know, lessen those stressors in your life in the process. They also say fasting because
I've
your
heard that
brain,
before.
yeah, your brain takes control and your willpower works with your brain to control your hunger and allow your organs and everything to reset. And initially, you're going to feel hungry, but long as you're drinking water, you're going to be Gucci and do that. Fast periodically. They even said
Mhm.
fasting up to 4 days is perfectly healthy
Which
as
you
long as you're
can
drinking
with
water
as long as you're drinking water because you can survive for so
off
long
water.
without food, but you
Right.
can survive extended amounts of time without water.
Right.
because
You
that's
can
what we
have all
consist
the
of.
water you want.
Yeah,
You can
right.
literally pee all day if you feel like it. But fasting for up to 4 days allows your body and your brain to reset themselves. Each organ, they will take turns resetting. And you will be able to, and then the meal that you eat after you fast should be fish and vegetables.
That will allow your body to properly reset.
Yep.
And
So I
if
think
you
it,
do it, if you do it with consistency though, like you can do that every couple of months and be
no, no,
good.
no. They said you don't even have to do it every couple months. You could do a 4 day fast every 6 months or once a year.
Every Okay, so that was some information provided. I'm gonna send you the link to this little group that I follow. So I'm gonna see.
Yeah.
But you said
Because
every six to
six
when?
months
Every
or a
6 months.
year,
Okay.
you don't have to do it very frequently because you're going to be doing these other things too. And some of these other things require that you have energy. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't go camping and fast. Don't do that.
Oh no.
You
Well,
feel me?
first and foremost, I don't see how y'all do it anyway. Glamping is one thing, and even I'm suspect about that because I know that there is a reason that the bugs exist. I get all
Not the
that.
bugs.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
it don't
I
have to
know
be
there exist
camping.
for a
Like,
reason.
go to a beach. Like, go to a resort that's a little more remote and doesn't have all the bells and whistles.
Yeah,
Go
cause
to
I
a
mean, even
resort.
in the sands and right by the ocean, you ain't worry about sandworms and all this kind of crazy. No.
I mean, go to a resort in Arizona, where you're exposing your body to higher temperatures than what you're accustomed to, which they say is perfectly healthy, as long as it's not for long period of time, because you can shock your body with extreme cold and extreme heat to get it to re-regulate and reset organs as well. But
Right.
you want to be in a situation where your brain isn't overwhelmed by all the shit you usually have to do on a day-to-day basis to be a person in this world. You want to not have to do that shit. You want to not have to be on a clock. You want to not have to have your phone. You want to not use GPS. You want to be able to relax. You want your brain to be able to make decisions based upon what your needs are in that moment from a holistic and instinctive standpoint versus a I'm doing what somebody else want me to do standpoint. So it don't have to be the wilderness or the woods. It can be a
But
Tibetan
somewhere
temple.
remote.
It
But
could
somewhere
be a
remote.
trip, right? It could be a trip to Mecca. You know what I mean? It can
Yeah.
be something more remote than what you're used to and accustomed to that will allow you to take a break from what you're used to and accustomed to
Right.
because the brain needs that in order to preserve your memories and to strengthen itself. They also said dancing
I love
and
to dance
music
anyway, so there's that.
are very important to strengthening the hippocampus. And they have studies that have proven that the hippocampus can actually grow as you get older if you listen to music and dance.
Yeah.
I'm with that. I be dancing on my treadmill. I
Uh,
listen to music while I work out. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, I'm with that. I could do
a
that.
bomb playlist in the
I listen
gym
to
is
music while I
always you
while I
gotta
work.
have it. Yeah.
So it's things that you can do that are not hard. I'm looking at maybe taking a trip to a remote resort where I can be off the grid for a few days and get massages and eat fish and vegetables because they have that there. And it's a black owned resort that I'm thinking of in Arizona.
We
And I
talked
really
about
think that
that
that's something
when
that
they
I might want to do when the
yeah.
next trip I take might be that versus
We talked
somewhere.
about that when they first came out. Like I think it was at their inception when they weren't even open yet. They had a wait list.
Yeah, they already had a wait list. I was like, damn, y'all already got a
Yeah.
wait list?
Yeah.
My God. So it's stuff like that that I want to do, because I wanted to do that anyway. And then finding out that it might really benefit me as far as my health is concerned makes me want to do it even more.
Yeah.
They
I
sent me
think
an email, in fact, today. I took it as a sign from the ancestors.
I
Just saying.
think Taraji P. Henson is on a sabbatical. I can't remember where that is. Is it Bali? Somewhere like
You
that.
mean
Gotta be
Bali?
right there. Yeah, I think it's I think. I wanna say, yeah, that's where she is, but
Sabbatical, yeah, that's what a sabbatical is too. It's like getting off the grid, getting away from all the stuff that you are so bombarded by and surrounded by all the damn time. Change of scenery, change of environment. Those things are good for our bodies and our brains. And as Black people, we really need to take it more seriously because we have so much generational trauma and we are so oppressed by this damn capitalism that any opportunity that we have to escape, even for a short period of time, is going to be beneficial for us individually and even collectively. Because I don't know if you've noticed that people ain't never been nowhere. I can't fuck with people who ain't never been nowhere, sis.
yeah. Yeah.
You notice I don't fuck with nobody who ain't never been nowhere. Like the minute I find out a person ain't never traveled nowhere, I don't even want to talk to you no more. Let alone have you as a person in my life.
Okay
Like
with
what?
certain people that ain't really never been nowhere though. I'm with certain people, mind you,
Nah, nah,
certain people.
nah,
I say that. I'm gonna tell you why I say that because you have the group of people that have not been too much of anywhere besides the block, and
nah.
then
I can't.
they want it's always a big time or something derogatory. It's like okay, yeah, I can't deal with that. But for
Yeah.
somebody that hasn't and they have a willingness to go. They could have had, different sets of circumstances that prevented them from doing it, but not really killing the desire to do so. I can rock with that.
I don't even know if I can rock with that because I tried to rock with somebody with that and they was on some fuck shit. And I was like, never
Yeah,
again. Because why is it that you're turning this into a negative? You said you wanted to do this.
right.
You said you wanted to do this. You said you wanted to go somewhere you ain't never been. We go somewhere you ain't never been, and now it's a fucking problem?
Yeah.
Do it yourself. Get somebody else to do it. If you like going forward, like it has to be somebody that if they have a willingness and they want to do it, I'm gonna need you to arrange your own trip and go by yourself before you go somewhere with me.
Right.
Because I
Yeah.
can't, I can't, I can't do it. I can't do it anymore. And I can't even really have a conversation. Like if I date somebody, if I ever do date again, they gotta be well traveled. You gotta at least been to 10 different states in the United States for me to even look at you.
And then even entertain trying to involve you in any kind of way.
Yeah, don't even look at me if you ain't been to at least 10 different states. Cause I can't what am I gonna do with you? Listen to you talk about, oh my God, you've been everywhere. Da, 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 da. I ain't trying to have them kind of conversations. I'm trying to have them. You remember the restaurant is such and such? Remember the
Is
building that looked like such and such?
is that a requirement in a romantic partner?
Hell yeah. Don't come to
Yeah.
me and you ain't been nowhere. The fuck am I gonna do with you? I can't do that with that. Because I tried. I have
Yeah.
tried. It don't work because there's always some envy or some bullshit or why you always got to go somewhere.
No,
Because I
I
want
just
to.
feel like I always want to go at this late big age in my life anyway because I have worked so hard from the inception of working hard. Like I had a job early in life at 14. I've worked since then. Since then. Ain't
Hmm.
been no breaks. So I feel like now I absolutely yes, we're buy the plane ticket. Gas the car up. I'm one for a road trip. I could do a road trip all day long.
Hmm.
We could do that. But yeah, just at this point, oh my God, yes, I gotta go. It could be at any time too. I don't really think too much into the planning aspect at this point, outside of months where or days or weekends where they could be heavy travel. Thanksgiving, New Year's, um, bike week in PA, shit like that. um, but now it's like if I know what's going on ahead of time, I can maneuver my schedule and my finances to be able to accommodate. Hell yeah, let's go.
My black ass been getting on flights since I was 8 years old. I am not about to entertain nobody. that ain't been nowhere because it's
I hear you.
something that I love. This is not something that I do for flex or for clout or none of that. It's something I actually love. I love to travel. I love to go places. I love New Orleans at Essence Fest. I love
Yeah.
it. I love Miami. I love South Beach during the American Black Film Festival. I love that shit. I love Times Square. I love Los Angeles. I love staring at the mountains from the golf course in Phoenix, Arizona. I love that shit.
Yeah.
And I am not going to not do it because someone I'm dating has issues with it. I need somebody who loves to travel, loves to stay at least a 3-star hotel. It ain't gotta be, we ain't gotta do the 5-star with the room service we ain't gotta do that. But I'm gonna stay at my favorite hotel in the French Quarter though.
That's something that you could compromise on though if it's in a relationship, right? Because you know, it's you're used to what you're used to, and then we know that you can ball and travel on a budget. You don't really have to spend as much as people really think you have to spend to travel. With the exception of, certain cruises or destinations. So I mean, I think it really all comes down to people being ill prepared and uneducated on this
And some
subject.
people just don't want to. They
You're
they
right.
they don't see travel as something worth investing in. So
Yeah.
travel for me is a form of self-care.
Man
Yeah,
is.
I'd rather do that than do a lot of shit.
Mhm.
There's a lot of shit I'd be like, nah, leave it. Travel, yeah. Yeah. That's why I'm looking forward to becoming comfortable traveling again. I just need these people to relax a little
Yeah.
bit. These airports is wild, man. And I never
Yeah, it's a
traveled
lot
during
going on.
Christmas for that particular reason. But it's
But
like,
it's trains too. You can hop a train though.
yeah, the problem with trains is there are so few direct tracks. You gotta really be wanting to travel by train for the point of sightseeing.
Right.
And you
Yeah,
have
that's
to
true
be
too.
prepared for that shit. You cannot get on a train to certain destinations expecting to get straight to that destination in a particular time frame. Because what may have started off as a 3-day weekend for you or an extended weekend trip will quickly turn into you on the train for 24 hours.
That's true too.
So when you do train, because I've done did train more than once. When you do train, you got to be doing train because you want to sightsee and you are not in a hurry to get to a particular destination for a certain amount of time. You want to have a good trains is like cruises. You want to have two days of travel
Mhm.
with 5 days at your destination and 2 more days of travel, okay? That's what you want
Right.
because you're going to be on that train for a minute. So you better be prepared to include that as part of the experience or don't do it. If you're looking for the train just as a form of transportation to get you from point A to point B, you're gonna be upset when it comes to
You gonna
getting to
sit
certain
spill.
places.
You gonna sit spill for sure.
Cause like dead ass, there's train tracks that to start you in Detroit, take your ass to Washington D.C. just to take you to Chicago.
Yeah, been there, done that.
Okay,
No bueno.
yeah, we gonna talk about you go from Detroit to New York to Florida. The fuck.
How Florida get caught up in
Cause I done did it before.
Oh man,
I done
hell
did it.
no.
The train 20 hours to
Wow.
get to Disney World, nigga. Where they do that at? We could have drove and got there faster. What the hell? Never did
Mm-mm.
that shit again.
I know the hell you didn't.
Did that one time. I didn't plan that trip. Grandma planned that trip. Grandma did that. She didn't know no better. She was being adventurous. Granddaddy had died. She was trying to be adventurous. She wanted to take me back to Disney World because we had good memories of Disney World when Granddaddy was alive.
Okay.
And she wanted to take me back to Disney World. She fucked up and she said, "Let's get on the Amtrak."
20
Yeah,
hours.
That shit was like 20, 24 hours. And I'm talking
Man, my
about dead
legs would have been
ass
on
going to New
fire.
York first. like,
Yeah, my legs would have been on fire.
like you dead ass in New York first. And
My
then you
God.
transfer trains at Grand Central Station and shit. Then you travel all around the East Coast. Then you get to Florida. What the fuck?
Shit, yeah, trip over. Hell. I-
She was so mad. She was furious. She was furious because she didn't realize how long it really was going to take compared to what my grandfather always did. He always put us on a plane. It's 3 hours from Detroit to Orlando. It's a three hour,
Child.
three and a half hour flight. It's just like going to Miami. It's like three and a half hours. Okay. And so, but she was trying to
So
be
y'all done
adventurous.
been on a trip going inward to
Another
Florida
trip.
5 times,
We had a
and
trip
it's
before we had the
oh
trip.
my God. Oh my
And
see,
then,
hell
mind you, had to
no.
take the same route back. So
Oh
she was
no.
furious. She was so mad. But I had so much fun. Because I mean, I was still a kid. Technically, I was still a kid. I want to say maybe I was 14, 15 at the time. And so for me, I didn't know she didn't plan it this way until she started grumbling about it.
By then it
That's
was
when
too
I
late.
realized that this ain't really what she wanted to do. She didn't really want to be on this train this long.
But y'all committed at this point.
We own the train.
It's
we
over.
can't
It's
get off.
we here.
Like we are we already on the damn train. Like we done left the house, got the suitcases in the cart and everything. We already there. So it ain't like she could change her mind. But she was just trying to do something. She was trying to do something adventurous. She thought it was gonna be more fun, and she was trying to like still have a family vacation with my grandfather not being with us anymore. But I still had fun. We still
That's
had
good.
fun. I remember us having a great time. She wasn't exactly happy about the length of the transportation. She said, I will never do that shit again. And she never did. She never she never got on another train again. I got on a
Oh,
train after that, but not her. She's like, child, I won't be me. I'm
now
not
she was
doing that shit
scarred.
again.
Now she was
So
scarred though.
but it was still fun to me. I would do it again. I would do it in circumstances where my destination didn't have a specific time frame
Okay, and you didn't really have to worry about a time frame
for
coming back. You
anything.
was just
Exactly.
chilling.
Like,
Okay.
yeah, like I would take a train to go somewhere if it would I would never take a train to a festival event or anything that's a ticketed event that costs money that I pay for in advance and it starts at a certain time. Because I promise you, you're gonna pick a train that's gonna make you miss your event. I promise
Uh,
you. I promise you, you gonna fuck around and your event is gonna come and go and you will not be in your seats when it happens and you're gonna be mad as hell. Now I would take a train to New York just to, if I'm milling around New York, I ain't got no set plans or whatever. I'm gonna buy my tickets on for the Broadway show when I get there type of situation. Yeah, I would do that. But not for no pre-plan, like no festivals that's only gonna take place on this day and there's no other days for it or it starts at this time. Because those will be the times where you find out that a train is not the best idea.
right. So it's time. But I did not want to end the show without talking my shit because we are nominated for a Detroit Choice Award. However, in the hell that happened. Thank y'all for listening. We appreciate y'all's nomination. We want to wish all of the other nominees good luck on the venture to finding out. But I'm anxious. Let's see some. Voting starts January 10th. You can visit DetroitChoiceAwards.com to cast your vote.
I'm tickled because you sound like me. Like I don't know how the hell that happened.
I don't be knowing
who
y'all,
who
but
did that?
somebody listening somewhere that's y'all felt like we was dope enough to nominate for this award, so we thank you.
We appreciate it.
Um,
And I,
we
I want to
thoroughly
wish
appreciate
everybody
it.
else, good luck too. But I want to win.
Oh yeah, we
That's
gonna
my
win.
competitive nature. I'm not gonna be
You know
mad if
what?
I don't. If we don't win,
Right.
I'm not gonna be mad. I'm not gonna like Not gonna do none of that. But I do, I am a competitive person by nature. I want to win. I think we
Yes,
deserve it. I think we one of the dopest out here. We done got shouts out from people in other states and everything. Like,
yeah,
I don't know if anybody else can say that or not, but I know we can.
yeah,
We can
for
say
sure
that.
that. Yeah, so not only that, but what started out as simply a passion project has been informative, educational, enlightening, all of those things since the very beginning. We're past 50 episodes in. So that's past 2 years for us already. It went so fast.
Hmm.
But definitely want to thank all of our supporters and listeners for tuning in, and whoever nominated us, thank you especially. I want to find out who that was though, if that's at all
Hmm.
possible. Um, but yeah, that's it. Thank you so much, y'all, for tuning in to another episode of the Ladies Locker Room. It is exclusively on the Brave Ambition Radio Network. I myself can be found on Instagram at L Rogers Global. For my co-host, her IG is official underscore Miss underscore Jones. Until next time, y'all. Peace.
Peace.